Welcome back to 20 Sided Tales for episode 76 Equilibrium. Where last we left our heroes, the Scarlet Vanguard had once again risen to the occasion, quite literally as they rose to the peak of the unnaturally frigid place known as the Marbrook Range. And with no shortage of self sacrifice after the given battles, our heroes gave a piece of them very selves to eradicate the worm Nidhogg, its bones in the realms it was tied to, in doing so reactivating an ancient seal upon Barum, upon the world itself, created by the Archmage, predating the first age of the Empire, and also in doing so securing the promise of a future, or so you were told by the Celestial which made itself known to you, a promise of a future which included an end. This divine being gifted the Scarlet Vanguard with a horn, and surely the snows did begin to subside around this place that had been blowing so violently. Once again in the distance, you could see the summer landscapes and all the lands abound. But you were still tired, weary, and contemplative after the current events that took place. Amongst the peak of the Marbrook Range here, at the site of another sealed rapture in reality, amongst these towers of the Archmage, the Scarlet Vanguard did make rest. We sort of open today's game, a little panoramic spin around. We see the top of the mountain here, snow still gently falling, but vibrant rays of sunlight cressing down into the rigid peaks where our heroes do make their rest. We see a bubble, or a dome, or a hut, whatever you prefer. A magical place of respite that Sana had placed up for everyone in the evening. But as the camera kind of zooms in on that, we actually pan past, and we'll begin today with an introduction of Alikos. We see him standing there this morning, kind of risen from your sleep a bit early. Found your way out, crunching across the blankets of snow here, somewhat blinded by the way the sun reflects off of it. And you just gaze out upon all the land. Camera spins about you, and we get a good look at just who this character is. Go ahead and kick us off.
All right, as starting off almost a year ago was a barefaced man, but now he has this long beard that almost goes down to the top of his sternum. Now has a few little braids, a few little like wooden braids inside of it, along with his hair, and a few totems that adorn his neck. A shield on his left arm, holding a spear on his right, using as a walking staff. As of now, as he's looking out over a few of the mountains, as a very, very distant sound of howling winds and high top mountain eagles is heard as watches the morning sunrise.
The caw of the eagle is almost ominous as you sit there in soliloquy and contemplation. But those caws break it, followed by the sounds of the crunching snow once again underfoot. More of a sizzle, actually. As of course Agnesia has noticed her lover leave the comforts of the dome early this morning, and we see as the camera spins about from Alikos' perspective as he looks on towards Agnesia approaching him. Go ahead and tell us about your character.
Agnesia, she stepped out of the dome, woken up, looks extremely exhausted, just huge bags under her eyes. She's slow and heavy in her steps. Before he turns to see her, she snaps her fingers, and she is stunning as usual. With her, charcoal skin and orange-colored swirls and kind of whipping in the wind. Even though she looks immaculate, she definitely, has a tired look to her in terms of how she steps. She steps up kind of behind him and kind of puts her head. I don't know if she's tall enough to put her head on his shoulder, actually, so I guess against his arm.
Either way, it's this peaceful moment just kind of continues on, and the two of you do notice something, perhaps on the winds. You speak primordial, Agnesia, so actually as you're sitting there with your love, you can almost feel the world is serenading you. You can feel a change. It's scary, and you can't quite place why. But at the same time, maybe it's for the better. You still have each other, and goddamn, are the two of you aching. You haven't fully mended from last night. Usually you get into a battle and the next day you feel right as rain. Your injuries have maintained, they've lingered. The blood of your love more real than it's ever been as you watch it pour from one of his open wounds still. Caringly and caressingly, you probably tend to one another, applying some medicine as you talk things over. And shortly thereafter, the camera kind of meandering out, would notice the dome dropping as the gentle rays of light and bits of snowflakes meet the face of our next two cast members. We'll start with Sana as the dome drops around you. Also, you're a larger sized creature. Go ahead and describe your character for us as we see her there this day.
Did you just say I'm a larger sized creature?
And Adlin, that's a fact. Of the two remaining cast members, you are medium. He is small.
True. No, we see that navy blue hood currently down, revealing her almost luminescent whitish blonde hair. Her eyes are the same bright blue as always, missing pupils, but still like flicking a bit as you see her looking around, enjoying that they survived, just kind of taking in the world. Takes a deep breath. And, looks at peace. They did it. Still got a long way to go, but they're here. I look down at Adlin.
Yes, you do.
I do.
He looks like shit.
And you wake up and she kind of moves. She was providing you the shade. The sun just kind of hits your eyes in that way, you know. But it's broken up by a sudden blanket of shade as you can hear Cluso flying over top now that the mountaintop has been cleared for travel. Perches on the rocks and he looks at you as well. And the camera, the proverbial mind's eye of the viewer, takes a deep sip of Adlin. Go ahead and tell us about your character.
Still feeling very unwell. He's very tired. At some point, he's went ahead and bandaged up with Sada's help a lot of the wounds from the previous day, bits of frostbite, and just bits of frostbite, some odd patches of discoloration on the skin from the poisons, and he's been banged up a lot the past day.
Your whole campaign thus far, you've been banged up.
Yeah.
And you're really feeling it for the first time this morning. Perhaps it's the cold air and high atmosphere. But you're still exhausted. So you woke up with exhaustion.
Yep. He's said he would just be kind of coming out right now, kind of covering his eyes and just. All right, what are we doing? Are we just heading back down?
Shh, Adlin. Listen.
Yeah.
Do you hear that on the wind?
No.
I'm not sure. Something just feels amiss.
As you say that, you don't know how or why, but you begin to invoke magic from your druidic ways. You cast druidcraft with those words, and a nearby bush blooms with its first berries. It's weird. It's like you get a sudden loss of control of your magic. It's something that maybe you would have willed happened anyhow.
Kind of like looking at Agni and then looking at the bush.
No one else probably understands the context of what just happened. They see you're able to do these things now. Have been for a while.
So
Let it bloom, that's nice. What could do with a little bit of blooming, no?
I never.
It says that with your passive nature, you do know they are poisonous. So lovely, bright red.
Oh yeah, you berries. Usually used in poisons. That was not me. I fear
That's
this
pretty,
might be
then.
a bad omen. Perhaps it's still some of the rot from this tumorous sore on the world tree.
Maybe.
Aglin, to what you were saying, I believe we might best be get off this mountain. For I fear if we stay up here any longer, we might never leave.
Oh yeah, probably not, because I'm really fucking cold. Ugh.
Yeah.
Actually, I might have a cold. I don't know. I'm still figuring that one out.
Hold on. Yeah, perhaps this should be some help. Yeah, let's go. As he'll begin making his way down the mountain, taking the form of a dire wolf, using one of his wild shapes. This he'll kind of squat down so you can hop on, Adlin.
Oh
Some
no,
of the
that.
fur break you out of the wind and keep you warm.
Oh no,
Warmer.
that's okay. I'm gonna try to keep an eye up above. Here, I'll just. Oh, you look. Get over it for right now. He just pulls out his bedroll, kind of opens it up best he can, and covers himself up as he climbs on Cluso.
Agni will, however,
Yep.
reach towards Alikos with kind of a like mind if I hop on kind of
Now.
expression.
Oh.
Gonna choose to take that as a yes, my dear. She hop on.
And so the Scarlet Vanguard does. The camera lifts outward as if under the hawks of one of these eagles soaring abound that have returned. And over the course of a montage, we see you taking the breadth of this day to make your way back down the Marbrook Ranges. Still slick and still snowy, but the supernatural nature of it all has subsided, and there's some slips along the way, and very humbling, humanizing moments we see as you guys are traveling. Just old wounds, scabs opening up, slipping, bumping your knee, just generally helping each other as you go. We can see the taxation that's befell you all. Last night when you rested and you woke up, you guys didn't regain your full hit points. And you can tell as much as you're walking. You can go ahead and regain half your hit dice back, rounded down.
Rounded down. Oh.
Mhm.
All right.
Remember, you guys also gave up half your
Half
permanent hit
dice.
points.
Yeah.
Wait, hit points or
Pepper
hit
hit
dice?
Right.
And
we give a pepper
hit dice. Hit dice.
Okay, I was like, I
And
don't remember
you
having
guys
a pepper
also,
hit
you
point.
do regain some hit points by resting last night. You got hit points equal to half your constitution score. Not the modifier, the score plus your total.
Score.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Run it up, right?
Wait, say that again? Half your con score plus what?
Level.
They're gonna be like that all the time?
Till we
You don't know
till
what
we
this
get-
means.
Yeah.
Your character just knows they hurt after months and months of adventuring.
Bam, copy that.
That's
And
me.
put that on the sheet.
Everyone
Admin, roll a
has...
constitution save. Long time coming.
Oh yeah.
Here we go.
As
as
it was
appropriate.
expected.
You have multiple contusions and breaks in your body. Multiple fractures, your ribs, your shoulder is out of place where it's attached to the metal arm. You are in need of serious medical attention. It's a good thing you're flying on Cluso. We
Yeah.
see this day continue on by, and it's peaceful. There is degree of serendipity that you all feel. It's just a somber. Maybe some words are spoken along the way, but for whatever reason, there's just a peaceful buzz in the air. Until eventually, later in the summer afternoon, we see you guys returning. Just kind of open up with you guys inside the courtyard of the castle, Fort Augur, or maybe just outside of it. Where exactly would you guys be trying to head?
I'd say let's get inside, get into some warmth. We need to recover.
As we go, me being the only one not on the wolf, I'll take the time to like work on you guys as we're walking, trying to like bang vertebrae and chakras back into place, using secrets of attenuation, which you guys can only do once per rest. So go ahead and remember to mark yourself so I remember I can't use it on you guys again, but I can give you some health.
Oh yeah,
For a long rest or short rest?
Aid from the world's first chiropractor.
Yeah.
And Adeline will be doing something similar up top. He'll just be using lay on hands to try to fix some of his shit.
And it is a short rest. Short or long.
Feel as though some things can only be mended by time.
Oh yeah.
When it comes to that output of power you're putting forward. Regardless, you guys arrive down from the Marbrook Range. You're looking upon Fort Augur from its backside, and beyond it, the wondrous fields of lush grass and hills, copses of trees, and a relative peace that can be observed. Cut away and open back up with you guys inside the fort. Maybe some 10, 20 minutes later, they've let you in, and you guys have begun to, dismantle yourselves. You are once again shown to rooms to, take a small hour to yourselves to recuperate before being pressed for information on what transpired. And at your guys' liege, we can continue with that debriefing. Whatever you guys want to do next.
All right.
Let's go first.
Oh no, you go ahead.
Okay. Adeline, you should perhaps take a day. Agni, do you know if the carnival's still around?
I don't know. Here, and she kind of sends Electra to do a quick circle around the area and see if the carnival has been let through, or if they're still here.
You were told that like a few of them were going to be let through in advance.
Yeah, but I mean, we didn't know if we've only been gone a day.
There's a few miles to where the rest of the carnival was, near the border. So Electra gets sent out. She will relay that when able.
Joe will go take a look. We're gonna send some through ahead of time, so at least some of the carnival's here. Adeline, do you need you're not looking so great. Need something?
No, just time.
Sure?
Yeah.
I can try and help the pain and negate the effects.
Oh, no, don't worry about it right now. Yeah, don't worry about it right now.
I look at you nervously, but give it a nod.
Look, if it comes down to it, I can heal some basic wounds. That ain't too big a deal. Alright, but what's our plan after this? That's the real question.
And we were headed with the carnival down to Baldrick's Watch. The Pippa Penny's trial. That was before, all of that. I'd like to go. Let me get it. Oh?
see several men and women of a gentry age dressed in servant's attire. The woman in front is holding a tray with a hot kettle. You can smell chocolate milk. There's a
Oh,
few
bless
mushrooms
you.
and a
Come
side
in.
plate. Oh, here you go. We've got some treats and snickets for you. Heard you up in the mountains, and the commander sends his regards. He's looking forward to your report. Here's some crumpets, some tea there for you, the marshmallows if you fancy little sweets with it. In the warm blankets there, and here you go. They start to, these gentry folks start to shuffle in comfortable accoutrement to ease you into your rest.
He kind of gives a "you hearing this shit" kind of expression over to
And they're like
Alco.
pulling out handkerchiefs as they pass you. A few of them are nuns, and one pulls out a handkerchief and starts wiping, trying to wipe dirt from Adeline's face. And another one pulls out like a little ruler and slaps Alikos in the side of the hip because his shirt's untucked.
What the?
They just go through your room, pretty much clean it within a minute, in and out, continuous motion. They leave you with all these comforts.
What the fuck just happened?
He's wearing a bow tie somehow, and he has that like comb over with the little pomperdoodle, like a little like swirl, pompadour thing.
Even in Agnesia's exhaustion and just horrible time, she's like, "I love your bow tie. It's such a nice bow
Why
tie."
the hell am I wearing a bow tie?
You look magnificent, I assure
It
you.
is
And
hell.
he's already pulling it off.
Come on, Adeline.
Look, I'm trying to rest. I ain't trying to fucking dress up. Jesus Christ. Oh, God.
We're gonna have to
Here,
debrief in a few minutes.
Yeah, speaking of,
What are we
does anybody...
saying?
I mean,
Truth?
Truth as far as we know, I guess.
Nidhogg the World Serpent almost escaped from their fucking mountain?
Uh,
Is that what we want to tell this person?
Actually, maybe not.
let us leave that to perhaps Madame Moss.
Alright, that's fair.
Like, I don't...
And I will report the honest truth to my lord, but
Yeah.
as far as this watch commander needs, I'm certain he just needs to know that the giant,
It's dealt with.
the situation has been dealt with.
Yeah.
Who needs to know? Adam Moss, Lord Hammond.
Mm-hmm.
We tell... I think... really like the guy who's the lord here. His accent's hilarious. If we tell him, he will talk to everybody who can hear him.
Yeah.
And then everybody will know, and then it'll be a problem.
We don't report to him, so that's none of our concern.
Exactly. We're just passing people who happen to have been a friend of a friend's. Does anybody want some of this? And I'm passing the Pumpkin King mug out.
I've got this kind of chocolate milk they gave me, and I heated up to make it like hot chocolate.
Oh, that's a good idea. I'm just gonna be drinking on this.
Sana, we still
That's how he's coping.
we still have some sunlight. I'm gonna attempt to do a ritual, if you will. Attempt to try to get closer to the world tree. I fear that when we bound that creature, the world tree almost seemed to have a shock, if you will. That's not even, I'm not sure if that's the right word. But I'm going to try to attune to it a little closer, see if I can perhaps figure out what's going on. After this, I know some magic to help me find certain herbs. If you could perhaps help me on this endeavor, I'd like to at least perform this ritual tonight under the moon. Before we leave for, well, to rejoin Agni's family.
Is that the plan? Or, sorry, is Agni here for this? If she's not, then I'll not say
Oh
that.
yeah, you're here. I mean, he's talking. He's not being.
I
Stop
didn't-
being hiding.
know if you'd gone off to talk to Sana or not. I didn't want to, butt in if you were.
No,
doing that.
we're in like in this little common room all together. So.
All right, just checking.
Oh, was that Dasana? I've been
Yeah.
writing in my notes.
Yeah, no,
That
he's
we're writing in our notes. Rapidly. And then looks up, realizing that it got quiet. Oh, what?
I'm going after the debrief. I'd like to go and gather some herbs, utilizing some magic I have to try to attune close to the world tree. I'd like your help.
I would definitely like to accompany you as I look at Adlin very, very nervously.
I'll be fine.
Looking at Adeline Agni,
Um,
I believe you two should perhaps rest. Your wounds seem grievous.
Yes, Adlin, I do not doubt your strength, but, please, I go towards you and, like, start looking you over, and I'm pressing into places, and...
Oh, God.
Oh
What
my
are you
God.
doing? Ow.
Can you feel this? Like,
No,
pressing
not in particular.
to,
Oh, wait, no. Yeah.
Right, and, hold on, I, like, put my head up to your chest and just listen. I pull back. Adeline, the damage you took, we need to get you help.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
I don't think.
If y'all are doing this whole
Something
herb
just
thing,
get-
check the bag over there. There's some stuff that'll help you out.
Nod. Like, still looking at you very worried.
Fine, I promise. I ain't gonna kill over in the next couple hours.
You hear in your head, I know you want to be strong, but I need you to rest. So I did that to GM. Message in your head, and she looks very, very worried about what's going on with you.
And he'll respond with silent speech with a, "It's fine, I'm not going anywhere. I'm right here."
Give a nod of my head, and then turn to Alikos. I'm ready when you are.
After the debrief, of course. Firebug, are you well?
Yeah, don't worry about me.
I wouldn't be very good at my job if I didn't.
Oh, she kind of stands up. She's very exhausted, but looks alright.
Here, before y'all get going, here, come here real quick. And, he's gonna sit there, kind of grab at all of y'all, and... Where is it? There it is. Dupe? I don't know why that rolled to GM.
You say a prayer of healing. So what is
yeah.
this prayer? It's a 10-minute process of kumbaya.
Yeah.
Kumbaya.
With Adeline, since he mainly pulls this kind of stuff from the fulcrum, it's more just him kind of taking time looking at that and asking more or less just kind of to the ones who sat there said, "Watch out for Agni and keep a hold of this thing." He's just sitting there and thinking in his own head about like I mean, look, if we're gonna like kill over, this isn't how you want it to go. And it's just a conversation like that for about 10 minutes.
Oh, it's in a cooler way. Is that what the prayer is?
You say this isn't how we're gonna go. You hear ravens cawing like past your window, the tower, the turret you're in.
Well, shit, proved me wrong, huh?
This has happened in real life too. All right, so maybe there's some tension-cutting chuckles to break the levity and fade to black left to right, and we open up vice versa as we see you in a new setting in one of the grander balconies of stone And out looks Fort Augur. It's back to the mountain, gazing at the valley between these mountains and the Lion's Pride mountains, several miles out, watching the roads, the Braun House which you traveled, and there to meet you, like the last time you met him, this is where he was having the breakfast and everything, is Pepe, Commander Pepe Horvath. Stands there stoically, hands on hips, for bringing up one chin as maybe he hears you approach. Kind of hear the scratching of his beard over the sounds of the wind here. It's empty other than the immediate company of the Vanguard who chose to be there. Commander Pepe. And suddenly he twists around and he slams his fists. You can see the enthusiasm on his face. I was broiled and brewed to think that we put this on your backs. But lo and behold, ye have come back to me, and with no tales of woe to be had. Alas, your whole company be in fold, and the snowy bitch of the mountains be at peace. Aye, so you must be telling me what exactly transpired there.
Oh?
Takes you a moment to maybe figure out what the fuck he just said. But essentially, he's excited. It seems you're successful. All of you returned. And he's looking forward to hear what you have to say. Go on. Pull up a seat and buck your brandy. This battle was a victory from the looks of it.
Aye.
And be known that your kin pressed on with wayward feet and happy soul, making for the cobbles of Baldric's Watch. Aye, indeed. Send word myself to the holes of the eagles. Or the eagle. Egalitarianism. Or, never mind, not so good with words. Actions that matter. Tell me of your actions.
Well, you were right. Those giants and other filth. They were there, and now they aren't.
There should be such as men and dwarves and elves and any of the united races of the Republic. We fear not giant, nor beast, nor monster.
Not at all. Yeah. Problem's been dealt with. Should be safe enough to go and recover some of your fallen.
Aye. The work will be hard. Third party put up. Leyland be at peace knowing he's got such fine folk by his side. Indeed, you'd be a bad bunch of brambling braggarts, but I like your style. You come back to
Thank
old
you.
Pepe whenever you need. You'll come calling.
I like your style too, Pepe. I like the beard. It's a good beard.
He grabs his one tassel, like the braid, kind of rubs it. You can see he blushes. He's like legitimately complimented.
We're just happy to help out the kingdom. Apologies, but the journey has worn us out. We will soon retire to our chambers, if you do not mind, Commander.
Reciprocates by saluting you, raising his little glass of brandy, slamming it back, giving a nod.
Turns a salute. So,
We fade away with kind of like the camera spins out. We see you guys walking off, and kind of looks at him for a moment, looks past him as he's kind of just looking upon the seemingly peaceful summer lands. And we open up to a few minutes later, whatever you guys want to jump to next.
Agni, I really do insist that perhaps you should go and get some rest. Osana and I engage in this ritual.
Sort of ritual. No, you said you wanted to connect to the tree, but how?
Little tricks I learned in when I was with the circle. With the right herbs and the right moments, one can, I'm not sure how to describe it, almost send a root of the tree into my very being, connecting me with, I suppose, the life essence of the tree. I can feel its feelings, hear its thoughts. Well, not like a sentient being, of course, but it's if I was a little more verbose. I learned that one for Theremin.
Bose is a good word for Theravin.
But while I still have some sun, I would like to at least try to figure out what that damn serpent did. Or, I suppose, what I did.
We did.
We
First of all,
we did.
don't put all of that on you, and we did it for good reason.
Mm-hmm.
If we hadn't done it, 1,000 times worse than anything we did would have happened. Let's keep that in mind, shall we? Also, something felt not bad this morning. The language of elements is something I know innately. It felt new and different. Didn't feel bad. Some sort of rebirth. Changed, but not bad. Don't know if it's all bad.
Do you think maybe it had something to do with that angel?
Don't know. Could be. Didn't know what it said. I got a civil word here and there. Trying to learn Celestial. It's like something I just ought to know. I don't. But I got half a word here. The vague sounds. I don't know what it said to us. Wish I did. Strange.
All it seemed to do was scowl at me. Fellow creature. Anyways.
I think we made the right call, Alikos.
Oh, I know we did. I know we did.
Better or for worse. We made the right call.
Speaking of which, this looks like a good spot.
Yeah. Here before either me by myself or Agni, if you're coming too, heads back in. Here, take this. I shove a herbalism kit in your hand. All right,
Here.
and also in case, take this. I shove a vial of holy water in your hand. And if you need Cluso to take you anywhere, he will. If you need help looking for those herbs, I'm gonna go pass the fuck out for a little while.
Here, hold on.
Ah,
Gave me a good idea, Adlin.
what's up?
And Agni will take 10 minutes to do prayer of healing now. I forgot I could do that.
Roll a
So
spell
legit.
casting ability check.
Oh.
Ignacia.
Nice.
Oh. I use my wisdom.
Make a thing for it.
Do I roll it with
Do
wisdom
your
or my normal
charisma and your
charisma?
proficiency. It's like a spell attack.
Oh, okay. I'll just roll a plus 10. Wait. Do I have a plus 10? Oh, plus 9. Five.
You draw strongly upon this power, for you are a herald of the dawn, of the light of Ondori. But you do feel something as you draw upon this power. Perhaps you've grown so powerful that for the first time you feel its limits. Almost like jumping into a pool you thought was never ending in depth, and your toes skimming it. But nonetheless,
Okay.
you complete the spell.
He just kind of blinks for a second.
Even someone as strong of character as you, such high charisma, brings a quiver to your lip.
Anyway. No, I'm just tired. Sorry. Here. Should help everybody a little bit.
Yeah, well, come on, me and you should go rest.
Yeah. You have separate rooms, by the way?
You're in a turret, like a tower. So there's 2 floors. You could split up if you wanted to. But generally, you're just all in the same tower.
She'll be there with Adlin until he falls asleep. She's gonna go upstairs for something else. But
Yeah,
we
like
can do
this
Alco's
Fort
thing
Augur
first.
is built into the cleave of this mountain range's base. It's got its wall at its base level, and then ascending each tier beyond that, it gets higher and higher. It's a stepped city, plateaued. You're somewhere near the top in one of the square, very geometric towers. Got the whole place to yourself. It's a guest tower.
Agni will make sure that Adlin is good, that he's kind of asleep, that he's not gonna. Can I just some sort of medicine check and make sure he's not doing like massive internal bleeding right now? Like.
Yeah. Trained in medicine?
Oh.
No? You can Google search him as you look at him with your eyes. Go ahead and roll medicine. I'll give you information based on the fact that you don't have proficiency.
Yeah, she's gonna look at me. Does he look like he's bruising more than he should be?
He looks as bad as he always does, honestly. There's just a strange sense of worry to you today. Because that maybe that change you found.
Oh well. She makes sure that he has to sleep or whatever, and then she'll kind of just go up to a different floor, kind of up out, like... Is there like a balcony Agni can go to?
He's probably passed out. You wipe some blood from him, and just like this morning when you looked at Alikos, there's that, like... The blood just looks so red, it looks so real. And then, yeah, you go off and go up to one of the balconies you guys got. They're more humble than the one you met Pepe on, but... They suffice. You could bring, like, a lawn chair out there. Get a tan.
She's just gonna like lay down on like the stone.
It's very peaceful.
Summon Electra. And
You're already warm, and the sun has just kind of been kissing the masonry, and it's kind of bathed in that warmth as well. You got Electra with you.
He kind of pulls Electra up, where she's like on her hand, so she can like look Electra kind of in the face type thing.
She blinks at you innocently.
When I talk to you, does Londori hear me?
She nods yes.
I've never spoken, Londori. I'd love to speak with you sometime.
She looks away from you, craning her neck of scintillating scales towards the sign, the shining sun, which makes her glimmer ever so, and she just kind of stares at the sun in an unnatural way. Like, you can't look at the sun like this. She's just...
Would you like me to yell at the sun?
She just flexes her wings as if in a shrug, and then nestles back down into you, content with life. That's what you feel from her, from your connection with her. There's an emotional, empathic bond as well, and you just feel her total contentness, or how content she is, or
don't know.
Yeah, content. Just not a worry, and life is good right now. Time is as it should be. You just feel that from her.
It's not the feeling she's getting back from Agni.
Yeah, probably feels worry.
Yeah, Agni just kind of looks up at the sun, says, I've done everything you've asked me to do. I've been what you told me to be. You never answered any of my questions. Just once I'd like to talk to you.
As you talk up to the sun, Perhaps because you're staring at it so intently, but you swear you just kind of notice it in its, cycle, moving towards its setting state. This is like almost when you spoke those words, it was just passing high noon. Perhaps ominous, perhaps coincidence. There's no response, just, well, in a way, there's a physical response. The sun continues to wane. It's moved past the clouds even more and just shines brighter. Roll a nature check or insight.
Prefer insight.
15.
Gee.
On some level, thought comes to you. Divine inspiration, perhaps, as you're kind of daydreaming and watching the sun, go from its zenith and fade, going from its strongest to a point where it's gone, it's dead, and then the night takes the world. You just kind of have the realization that it always comes back. There's always a cycle. And you're a secular being. You have come back. You've seen people come back. You've seen the changing of the seasons. And the end doesn't scare you. Like, as you're like maybe kind of finally falling asleep, daydreaming here, the closing your eyes and welcoming the darkness doesn't seem as oppressive, because you know you're going to open your eyes again at some point.
Okay. Agni kind of falls asleep. The sun. That's it.
Take inspiration on your sheet. You spend some time meditating, so to speak. Meanwhile, elsewhere, off the balcony, the camera goes, and over the tops of the parapets and turrets of this keep, or somewhere else, we see perhaps Alikos, in the final steps of preparation, getting ready to venture out or pick a point, maybe here in the gardens.
Right, as he'll begin casting the spell a couple times as the late afternoon sun still hangs in the air. As he'll be explaining a little bit about this ritual to Sana. So he'll be gathering things like a wolf's bane. He'll be gathering wolf's bane, like marigold, and like Ruxenberg moss or something. Just a couple. Like
you find marigold abundant around the keep, as well as the moss of which you refer. It's a pretty commonplace near any region that gets the mountainous shade, but a good bit of temperate light. It's the wolf's bane that's a bit more difficult to track on these arid ranges, more arid as you go higher, further out. But you've got this spell up, and the two of you are working together. You're explaining this as you're going, as you mentioned. Go ahead and roll survival with advantage.
Okay. And as he's moving up, I'll explain this ritual. So, what I'm going to be doing is, it's a mixture of a ritual, well, by ingesting a poison, if you will. What I do is, it slows down my heart and subdues my consciousness enough to almost a near-death state. And by doing so under the right conditions, I'll be able to, I guess, link with the world tree. Of course, I'll be completely vulnerable, so don't murder me, but...
I worry you'll be doing that to yourself. Have you tried this before?
Well, no. I've never had a reason to. But when we sealed that thing into that tumor, I still struggle to describe it. It's like the whole world tree shook. And then when we died, something changed. Somehow it's all linked, but I don't know how. I can taste it on the air. but unfortunately, I don't know enough about the spirits to understand what that taste could mean. And I'm hoping this ritual might provide some answers. But if it fails, I suppose I'll probably have to. Well, I am. You are still interested in going back to the Crystal Caverns, are you not?
Oh, very much so. And, if I can, I'd like to help you on this. Your mind, that's going to be what you are for a bit. I might have a way to strengthen that just a little, if you'd allow me.
I'll accept any and all help you can offer, Sana. But hang on. I think the Wolfbane's over there.
I nod and say, if you allow me, and gestures with 2 fingers towards your temples.
Yeah, I'll crouch down a little bit, bow his head.
Yeah. She closes her eyes and puts 2 fingers from each hand on your temples and kind of focuses and feel your mind kind of open a bit, and then almost like opens and then steals over. So I cast Intellect Fortress using my crystal.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
It's such a dope spell.
Cool, yeah.
You
nod
feel
and
this.
take that.
You exchange a nod, and you definitely gain more clarity of your surroundings. That locate animals, plants spell going up as well. On a sense beyond any mortal capability, you're able to make your way across a coarse heath of this expanse around the base of just like dry grass and such, and you can hear, almost feel a roaring, turbulent river that was maybe blocked up with ice and now flowing to its full extent once again. And along that river's turbulent sides, you see more of these coarse bushes that make up this uncultivated heath, and ripe purple berries growing upon them as if they just bloomed, and as well, kind of hidden, subtly so, almost camouflaged by the familiar colored berries, are these violet petaled wolfsbanes. As you've kind of been going up higher into the alp of the Marbrook. Carefully, you begin to snip and collect these things, branch by branch, until the plant is pruned, left to live and continue with its cycle. You've taken what you need.
That should be everything. Let's see, kind of looking up, seeing like the moon starting to slowly peek its way upwards. Yeah, let's perhaps get a little closer to town.
It is one of those days where the sky is so clear you can see the moon, yet it is daytime. It is later afternoon at this point, 3 to 5 o'clock maybe, but it is summer. The sun runs late, though the true moon can be seen in the blue sky.
As Alcos begin preparing this ritual, kind of carving these these druidic runes into the circle, kind of making like a small hole in the background, and with this this moss and this the wolfsbane, kind of made in this like little paste and kind of mixed with the water underneath the moon, and as he's preparing it, probably takes like a little bit of an hour.
That's quite the assumption.
I don't know, how long will it take? It's
It's a pretty valuable potion. It would probably take you the rest of this day into the night. It's got a brew.
Yep, that's fine.
Might be a finite process that's done quickly. We'll see. We'll play it by ear. We'll see the roll.
Yeah, as Son and I are talking while he makes this.
Yeah, so you go off. You find a place to break down these materials closer to Fort Auger. You can see it there in the distance, but you're on the cusp of the wilderness as well.
So, I also should perhaps give you a warning.
warning?
Well, sort of. There is a very, very small chance I might not wake up. My soul gets stuck with the will tree. So my body will be alive, but it'll just be a husk, if you will.
All right. And if that happens, is there a way to remedy this?
Well, I suppose I'll have to try and find my way back. I didn't really ask much about that story, since, like I said, I never expected to have to, well, engage in this ritual. I was more interested in the, crafting the spear, to be honest.
Right. Well, do my best to protect you from out there. If you can keep yourself safe in there, and kind of taps her head.
Yeah. I know. I'm not afraid.
If anyone can do this, you can.
Well, I'm not sure about that. Certain Madam Moss could have done it better. Again, Inquisitor Brass, he's pretty good at magic too.
She nods, tilting her head from side to side. Yes, but doesn't change the fact that you have the ability to do it as well. Don't forget, I've read about what you've all done, and I've seen it in action. I believe you'll come back to us just fine.
Kind of, as you mentioned that, he's like, Sana, you almost sound like you're speaking as an outsider.
Tilts her head.
You
What do you
realize... You claimed you read about our exploits. You realize you have exploits of your own. You're part of the soul that makes up the Scarlet Vanguard, you know. You're not just some onlooker or some tag-along. You are the Scarlet Vanguard. It's not what you can do. It's what we can do.
She smiles wide at that and nods and says, it's oftentimes I forget. Thank you.
I mean, I'm not
Yes,
sure how. I'd say the way you punched that giant. Oh. Now that was the thing for the storybooks.
Perhaps I'll be lucky enough to have my own.
Accurate. Hey, you ever gonna start writing a book about yourself?
Most of what I write is factual. So, maybe.
Sure you haven't included any extra stories about how the time I lifted a mountain, or maybe the time I well, I'm not a great storyteller.
Lifted a mountain.
Well, you know, just a little stretching the truth. You know, maybe it was just a small boulder. Maybe it was a little pebble. But it is truly a pleasure to have you with us. I know Adelaide
Blushes
certainly
and then
appreciates
stiffens a bit and perhaps we should start focusing. It's getting later and I think this needs to get done. Yes?
Right. Sorry. To be honest, I'm kind of afraid.
Afraid?
Well, most challenges I face, I usually have a spear in one hand, a shield in the other. I rely on my skills and I rely on being able to read my opponents. Unfortunately, this is kind of like sniffing in the vapors a little bit. This is an opponent I can't exactly stab or read. It's unknown.
Well, these are just new skills for you to work on.
I suppose you're right. All right. Do you mind doing that? Opening
Again?
my mind again. It only lasts an hour.
Yeah, she nods and this time like reaches up for your temples and then stops short and takes a deep breath and touches her fingers together and then like moves it towards you and casts Unlock Fortress again.
Her blanched skin goes even brighter, like a shining diamond for a second, and your mind is blasted with this white light of knowledge and spiritual wealth.
Alright. So he's going to take this purplish bubbling concoction, and after a few breaths, he will.
Roll for brewing it. Roll herbalism or nature.
Yep. So,
Which is probably helping you.
Oh yeah.
22. Whew,
22.
Nice.
It's good. It's very good. Over the course of an hour, preparation of the materials has been completed, and you move forward now into the more finite process of adding it all together in a certain dilation of time and increments. And you manage to do just that over the course of the next few minutes. You can see the way it sizzles, the way it settles. This purple, poisonous elixir derived from the back of the world is readily brewed to be imbibed.
And he looks at you and just gives you a faint nod as if keeping the spear gripped in one hand, and potion in the other.
Do you need to be in an open area for this?
Unfortunately, I never asked. All I know is I need to be connected by nature, and it
Then
looks
perhaps we
fine.
should risk it. She was about to cast Tiny Hut and then stops. I wish you luck.
We make our own luck.
And as you say that, roll a constitution check as you just try to even drink it all.
Yep.
You have to have the fortitude to, and a 21, you do manage to put this near syrupy bitter back. The further it goes down, the more it burns until it doesn't. And you've done everything correctly, and you are willing. Just the eyes glaze back and even begin to flutter as he falls backwards. About to smash his head on a rock.
I quickly go to catch him.
I'd imagine so. You slide in with monk reflexes like the Flash. And
I just
let him down gently.
scoot underneath and let his head rest on my my legs and scoot it back. Fuck.
Roll a d20, Alikos.
Open or whispered?
Open.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. Tell me what you got.
19. Holy moly, we rolling hot today.
Oh, baby.
It's good. So as you're watching him out on the ground, kind of lingers here on the materials. Sana's watching you. Your knowledge of medicine, obviously, he just imbibed bad poison. He's doing okay. He's having minor nausea at best. Not even going green in the face. Just kind of, you can hear a little bit of queasing sounds here and there, but his vigor is strong, and he is taking this down like the champion he is. And everything just goes black, Alikos. After your sensation is lost, you're no longer gargling, feeling sick. For all intents and purposes, you're dead, if anyone wants to check. And Sana just kind of watches you there in this alpine meadow. And we just kind of zoom into your mind's eye from her vision, and bright light fills the darkness. And you're just in this void-like space. Who knows if you'll even retain any of this. Roll an insight check as you try to show the actionable ability to reach out.
8.
You find yourself just racked by the world as you have kind of drifted in your soul, just kind of into a limbo, a space between spaces. I'm not going to describe this too detailed for you, but I will say one key thing. It is filled with fortuitous chance, cyclical in all directions, concentric rings spinning all around you and through each other, all matter and things. And time, everything. And it feels mended. You recall the rifts and the cracks you've experienced in your journeys, these big calamities you've come to face. And in all that you feel here, the wheel seems to be turning. The polyhedral's moving so quickly, it's a perfect sphere in all directions. It moves beyond the speed of time and light. But it's turning towards something. Just like the setting sun, passing its zenith. Roll an intelligence saving throw. As in this coma, you begin to experience all manner of events.
Intellect Fortress almost helped.
Even with the Intellect Fortress, now you feel like yourself, like you're inside of a laundry machine. The chance, the chaos is contained in some celestial manner, the binds of reality, all the cosmoses, but you're just lost in this blender and being battered around. You're being knocked into fragments of yourself. Moments where you're, I'll kill you! Moments you're like, no, peace, please let us. Why do we have to fight? I love you. I'll always love you. You're my everything. And like all these different parts of you and things that you haven't experienced yet. And things in the past that you've never experienced. And roll a charisma saving throw.
All right.
As you get lost within yourself.
13.
All right. Roll a d8.
Okay. 4.
Okay, Sana, you've been watching him for several hours now. He was totally still for most of this time. Near the tail end of these 4 hours, the sun has like just begun to set. You can see it dipping over the distant Lion Pride Mountains, some 20 or more miles away. And it's in this moment that Alikos begins like convulsing on the ground, seizuring.
Oh no. Okay, can I do a medicine check to see what I can do to help?
Yeah.
Is this mental or is this from the poison? 14. Oh, I'm supposed to have disadvantage because exhaustion.
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm. You're not sure. The best you're able to do is contain him from bending his back so rigidly he breaks his own bones because he's moving in unnatural, contorting ways, just switching poses and postures and expression of face.
Yeah,
But
I
all
like
in all, sounds of agony.
take a stick and put it in his mouth to keep it from biting his tongue, move him on his side.
Yeah, we see you struggling to do this, and once again we pan in to his mind's eye, where he is literally being punched in the face, or like at least by it's yourself, and he's stabbing past you. And like you feel it hit you, but it's actually going through you at your brother. I only came to deliver a message. As you know, you feel your brother get blasted, and then you feel like the remorse of this, and then you fucking see this instant replayed again, and your brother, I only came to give a message. and then you stabbing him in the back, and like all these weird things, and you're starting to like you're not able to handle it. You've failed all your saves so far.
Right.
You have enough strength of will and power as a druid of who you are that you just shunt yourself away. You just kind of like shove yourself back from a mob trying to grab you, and you don't know that you're shoving yourself off the top of a skyscraper, and now you're just kind of falling. I need one more save. Wisdom saving throw.
Yep.
No, this never happened.
It's true.
Got this.
He's never seen this in his life.
Oh, 18?
And you feel yourself shaking, stopping and being shook as if you're like falling through the air, falling through reality. And as you kind of look down behind you, falling through the three worlds and all their iterations and all their cubic measures, your fucking mind is broken. I'm gonna need a D100
Yep.
roll, but you see yourself now falling through all these realities and slamming back into your body where Sana is taking care of you, so you're not snapping anything.
Oof, that's not good. 83.
You come back to your senses with a gasp.
Holocaust. You alright?
He's kind of like quickly starts patting himself down, like kind of feeling all these stab wounds and all these that aren't there. So you're drenched in the sweat. I think I've seen enough. Let's
Hold on. Let's
go back.
take a moment. Take a moment.
He's kind of shaking his head. There's that look of pure
Roll.
horror where he thought he was going to die. He felt like death.
Roll a d6.
Okay.
As you're looking at Sana, and for a moment, she's unfamiliar
One.
to you.
Nice.
You forget Sana's name as you're looking to her, but you know she's a comfort. Comes back to you. And, yeah, you're mentally taxed right
Yep.
now.
Let's it's kind of like looking at like the remnants of the
You forget her name again.
yeah, the remnants of the poison that we made. Oh, so I think I'll need to meditate on this, but I think I somewhat understand.
You do actually retain all of this, like the insights and things you retained from all your recent revelations, the path you're on. You've never felt more defined on who you are and what your path is as you witnessed it a million times over within 4 hours. But there's one thing you're not sure about. Who anyone else is. In truth.
Clarify.
Got a lot on your mind. You know there are some definitive truths throughout all realities of you that always maintain to be, at least when things go good. Because you know there's possibility where things go bad. A lot of bad. But you feel defined that you were on a positive course, and you felt the unity of the concentric existence of all reality, ushering it towards its inevitable end, as is the way of all things, such as the setting sun, which you guys look to as you walk back to Fort Auger. Camera kind of trails out behind you, and with all this in mind, camera just kind of rolls out with the sun as night takes. You get one last shot of Fort Auger, and we're going to go to a break, come back for the next part in a bit here.